like Clark, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be going over 6 common mistakes you might be making in Fortnite, and this will be in pubs, this will be in tournaments, arena games, kind of everything, and hopefully realizing that you are probably making this mistake. You might not be making all 6, but you might be making a couple. Hopefully you can actually start to fix it, realize that you're doing it, and then start to move on and become a better player overall. So if you're looking forward to this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you use creator code WraithFN in the item shop. Also, if you guys don't know, I stream almost every single day on Twitch at WraithAM, or you can click the link in the description. I will be live in probably around an hour or two after this video gets uploaded, so hopefully I see you guys then, and let's get right into today's video. So the first thing I'm going to say that probably is holding you back a little bit from improving at Fortnite is wasting your time free building or 1v1ing in creative. Now a lot of you guys might be like, okay, well, what do you mean? You said that 1v1ing is an unreal way to practice and free building is an unreal way to practice. And I do say that. Like, I still think that free building and 1v1ing is an unreal practice. And you guys might be like, okay, well, what are you saying right now? So basically what I mean is I'm talking about those creative warriors who only free build, only do high ground retakes, and only practice 1v1s. So basically, unless obviously you're just going for that face sway type of thing, you don't really care about competitive or you don't care about improving, that's fine. But if all you're doing is 1v1ing and practicing high ground retakes and free building for, let's say, 3 hours a day, and you can only play for 4 hours, so out of that 4 hours, 3 of the hours you're literally just in creative doing 1v1s or free builds, you're not going to improve. Sure, you might be really good at 1v1s. Sure, you can do some crazy high ground retakes, but that's not going to help you in competitive Fortnite. Obviously, it'll help your mechanics a little bit, and it will improve. But 1v1s and free building are good, but only to a certain point. Like, you maybe should do it for, yeah, if you can play 4 hours, do it for 45 minutes. Trust me, it will help you overall, and it will help you become a better fighter. Your mechanics and builds will be more clean and smoother. But if you're spending half your time that you play on creative 1v1s or free building or whatever, that kind of stuff, trust me, it's not that beneficial. So many people just think, oh yeah, if I just 1v1 and free build, I'll become a better player, which is true, but to a certain point. Now my next tip is those for mostly for tournaments or even arena. Now this kind of depends on what your play style and goal is, right? So for example, if you're trying to improve and get better, I always told you, W key as much as possible and get in as many fights as possible so you can practice getting used to fighting and winning fights. But in tournaments, or even if you're trying to learn how to play endgame in customs or arena or whatever the case is, W key when you need to. I see so many brain dead players, especially on NA West, who literally will W key when they have 2 launch pads, 3 impulses, good match, good health, and there's no need to W key, right? Now a lot of you guys might be saying, okay, well, I see Tfue W key and he gets a lot of kills and wins and does good in tournaments. That's not necessarily true. If you do very well and place, let's say, number 3 in the game with 3 to 4 kills that you all got from endgame, that's a good like 15 points, right? Like you're doing really, really good, or 12 points or whatever it is. That's a really, really good goal to have. What your goal should be is get mobility, get mats, and once you get that, play for endgame and practice taking height, practice getting kills endgame, because then you have a higher chance at winning the game. Now, I agree. If you don't have any mobility, you have no impulses, no launch pads, no mats, no health, then yes, W key 100%, get some mats, get some impulses, get some launch pads. I agree. It's smart to W key because you need to have mobility to win the game. But once you have mobility, like for example, once you have 4 impulses even, if I have 4 impulses or even 2 launch pads, I'm playing it safe for the rest of the game, trying to get top 5 and trying to win the game. You need to learn how once you get mobility, you need to play passive, go for the placement points, and go for the kills end game because you have a better chance at winning the game with more mobility. Now that's kind of the same thing, because if you don't W key but you have no mobility, well, then you're kind of screwed endgame and you don't really have a chance of getting a lot of kills and taking height and winning the game, right? So it's kind of your decision, but I'm just saying for those people who are W keying with 3 to 4 impulses, 2 launch pads, not the right play. You're not improving and you're not going to do well in the tournament unless you're literally like an absolute god and you know that you can win almost every single fight. Then you can, but even like if you watch Benji Fishy, he'll go into endgame with 1 to 2 kills because he has good mobility, and then he'll come out of the game with a 13 kill win, right? So it's very, very important not to W key if you have mobility. Now my next tip is running from fight, and I see so many people doing this in tournaments, especially like when I W key. So for example, if I don't have mobility and I end up W keying someone, they will waste 4 impulses and 2 launch pads just to run away from me. They won't even think about box fighting. Now, they may be not as good as me, and they may not be a very good player, but you need to stand and fight. If you're wasting all your mobility, a lot of people, like, if I see someone run like that, I'm chasing them because I know they're not a very good player. If they're running, they're either low, have no mats, or they're scared to fight me, which basically means I'm on the edge and I'm ready to go. So if I were you, even if you're not the greatest player, fight someone. If they push you, take the fight. Like, trust me, unless you can do 1 launch pad and get away and then they don't follow you, then you're good to go. But if they keep following you no matter what, you're gonna have to fight. Don't waste all your mobility trying to run away from the fight. Fight the person. Now my next tip, and I see a lot of people not doing, is practicing their aim. Honestly, recently, I think aim is probably the most important mechanical skill, because nowadays everyone knows how to build, everyone knows how to edit, everyone generally knows how to play the game. So what the most important thing is, I think, aim. Now you'll see pros nowadays like Mongrel, Benji, whoever it is. If someone's in the air and they're launch padding, they're going literally from 200 HP to 0 HP in a matter of like 2 seconds. Frosty ZK, one of the best aimers in the world right now, in my opinion, will literally laser you out of the air, or literally even if you're rotating, he'll drop you from 200 to 0 in a matter of a second, right? So aim is so important. You can get so many free kills, and also close range shotgun shots are just so important that you need to make sure you're practicing your aim every single day and spending a lot of time improving it. Now the next mistake I see a lot of people do is kind of basically what this game is, but making the same mistakes over and over again. If you make a mistake, trust me, it's not a big deal. Everyone makes mistakes, but it becomes a problem once you start making the same mistake over and over. So for example, something I did quite a bit is when I'd be in a box fight, I'd just make a simple window edit, and then he just simply shoot me for like 150, 160, right? So I went in creative, I did box fights with my buddies, and I started practicing in arena solos when I was smurfing, specifically only making good clean edits, like the top right 3 windows and then doing a right hand peek, or doing a window edit but making sure I'm right hand peeking instead of just window editing and then getting shot, right? So if you keep making the same mistake over and over again, you're not going to improve as a player. So you need to start realizing what your mistakes are by VOD reviewing yourself, or every single time you die, be like, okay, this is what I did wrong, and try your best not to make the same mistake, because if you do, you're not going to become a better player. Now the last mistake, and this is a big one that I see a lot of people do, is blaming external factors on you dying. Now there's so many reasons as to why you can die here. Someone can make a bad push on you, you could get controller L2'd, something like that can happen. A mech can push you, whatever the case is, right? You could get rotated on by 4 people, you're boxed up and 3 people start shooting at you. There's so many reasons as to why you can die in tournaments, arena, or even solos, right? But you got to think kind of with the same mistake. You got to realize there's something you did or could have done to help you not die in that scenario. So for example, if you fight a controller player, right? If he lasers you for double headshot, and then you just go and fight him, well, what could you have done? Could you have made a better rotate? Could you have been looking around more to see if someone's there? Could you have been covering yourself? Could you have instantly built, healed up, and then pushed him? For example, another one, if you start getting shot at in a box by 3 different people, well, did you put yourself in a bad scenario? Like, why did you put yourself in between 3 people? You should have moved up a little bit more, tunneled, and got to a better spot where you're not in between 3 different people. Did someone push you in a storm and you ended up dying because of it? It doesn't matter if someone pushes you, you got to be able to win that fight. Did you miss an edit here? Did you not be ready and shoot him, right? Obviously it's frustrating, and I get it, because certain scenarios, yeah, it's annoying because people aren't very intelligent and they're brain dead and they'll push you in a bad scenario. But there's still a reason as to why you could win the fight. Could you have hit an edit? Could you have rotated earlier? Could you have rotated later? Could you have chosen a different spot to rotate, right? So one of the biggest things is you got to start realizing, yeah, it's not really your fault, but it still is. Like, there's something you could have done to prevent you being in that scenario. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, comment what you want to see for a future video, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.